Hey, She Slayers, this is a special sample cut from this week's episode. If you find this interesting, be sure to make time to go listen to the entire episode released this past Sunday. And please be sure to help a girl out and follow or subscribe to this podcast. Okay, talk to me more for someone who's like not really familiar with like this feminine energy, how you be it, whether
Sure.
you're a woman or man. Like what
Yeah.
is that feminine energy? How do you just like, okay, I'm gonna be it?
So this is something I actually talk a lot about in my book too. And so there's a page in there that shows the difference between the two, but I'll just give you a couple things. It's not having a bubble bath and getting your nails done and wearing pink underwear. Those are feminine things, but it is being able to like I will meet like right now, I would ask you, are you intuitive? You would tell me
Yes.
yes. Yeah, everybody does. Every single
Everybody does? Oh man, now I
Every
don't feel
single
special.
well, I'm gonna tell you why you could be special and why people are every woman I meet says, "I'm so intuitive." I know. And I'm like, "How much do you listen to that intuition?" "Well, usually my gut most of the time." But actually not really. She's so intuitive, but her brain will come in like one of those like safe keys, like a latch and be like, you're getting too emotional. I don't let's think about this before we do it." And so most of them are making decisions from their head as opposed to their intuition, which is their heart center, which is their soul center. And so if they learn how to really feel what their emotions are, they would change the game. So I believe being able to identify all the emotions you're feeling is really important. For many of the women I work with, they know how to be happy and they know how to be angry, but there's not a lot of in between. When I ask them to describe how they're feeling, they don't have the description. So I say, okay, let's pull up the emotional wheel online. I want you to put that on your phone, and I want you to spend a week saying I feel and whatever it is instead of I think, because if you catch yourself, you'll start saying I think. And I had to really condition myself to say, I feel. So the emotions, knowing everything's going to be okay without having all the answers. I can't tell you how hard that is for most women. They have to know the how, the when, they want everything planned out. They're in their heads. And because there's so much in their heads, they're actually stopping how much success can come to them because they see if I do this, I'll get this. But that actually puts a ceiling and a cap on how much money they make, how much success they can have because they're all in their heads. But what if you allowed the chaos, that the feminine's the chaos? What if you had an idea and you just took off with it today and not overthink it? I'm telling you that idea that whatever you had today would become much more successful and powerful than the one that you actually thought out and waited too long to take action on. Because when you get inspired to move and you get something, that's a hit from wherever, your higher self, whoever you're talking to, God, the universe. And when you don't listen to it, you are actually doing yourself a disservice. So knowing that everything's going to be okay, trusting. I had to come up with these slogans in my business, which was telling myself it's happening, to hold the faith, and saying if another woman could be successful, I can. If she can, I can. Telling myself more is coming because more is coming. But when or messy makes me millions is what I started doing because I was a
Mm.
perfectionist. I had to have everything perfect. And I was like, you know what, Shamina, we're done with that. Messy makes me millions. I'm just going to start taking messy action. And if it's not perfect, it's okay. I actually threw away my schedule because being overbooked and overscheduled was a trauma response. It was being busy. When you can't be present in your body, then you're constantly trying to get out of it. So that's why you're in that do energy. And your trauma doesn't have to be the level of trauma I had. Your mom could have left you in the aisle at Kmart or something, or where you had an abandonment wound come up, but something has left you to protect yourself. And so when you're protecting yourself, the love that you're feeling is not there. So feminine energy is like trusting. It's the intuition, the chaos, it's the allowing, it's receiving. And we're designed to receive, women. But the way that we even show up in the world, we're showing up with instead of having the sockets come in, we're showing up the other way, if you know what I mean. Like even sexually, this is where we're designed to receive. And a lot of the times I see with women in their business is that they have a hard time receiving support. And so they micromanage everybody in their business. They're control freaks. They have to do everything. They're doing the $10 an hour jobs instead of delegating it. They don't have a support team. Everything is done on their own because, I can do it faster. And then this is where their scarcity mindset comes in around wealth consciousness. And it's just cheaper if I do it. Cheaper if I do it. I can do it faster and cheaper. And not being able to receive support actually leaks out into every area of their life. So if someone says, "Hey, let me open the door for you," I got it, because she's carrying all the groceries, and if she still doesn't use Instacart, or "You're beautiful." Oh, this old thing, she can't even receive a compliment. And so when we're unable to receive, it actually deflects how much wealth we can have,
Mm.
and it puts us in the masculine, because the masculine to do, it doesn't like to allow. It wants to protect and provide and do the things, but you're trying to do all the things that you're not designed to do, if that makes sense, right? So For example, someone putting a offer out for her business, if she's running an online business or whatnot, and if she's brick and mortar, she puts an offer out and immediately doesn't see a client come in. Oh my God, what I do wrong? I need to go fix this
Mhm.
out. I've got to go change this. I've got to do this. And she just can't just let that she's done enough to trust that it will come in. And so she actually goes and sabotages herself by doing so much. There's endless things. And I believe we have three core wounds: abandonment, betrayal, and unworthiness. And I can look at someone's book of business and I can see actually which wound, if not all, that are showing up and how their leadership is with their team, how they're running their support, how they're what type of clients they're calling in, because we are the blueprint for our life and business. So we are emotionally looking at the world through a certain lens, and that lens will determine what the outcome is on the other side, right? So to be in that feminine really requires us to just be like, all right, I hired that person. I'm just going to trust. And if it does go sideways, it's going to be okay. You know what? I'm just going to allow someone that I paid for to do this for me. It's fine. I'm going to hire someone to do the cleaning in my house. I'm not going to clean the house before they come all the time because I hired them to do that. I'm going to receive that. Or I'm going to allow myself to just trust that I made a good decision at the time because I was coming from my intuition and not second guessing myself. And this is something that's very, 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 very hard for us A types to do because we're not programmed that way. We're programmed to get shit done. And it's really hard.